Letty, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're on the record in cause number M1740231, the state of Texas versus Sammy Griffin. This is a hearing for purposes of the defendant entering an agreed plea. Therefore, the state of Texas, that's the district attorney's office, has waived its appearance. We are appearing over Zoom video conferencing, and pursuant to the public courts laws, we are also live streaming on YouTube. The court's court reporter is here taking a record, along with the court's probation officer, defense attorney Ms. Debbie Sanchez, and her crew of interns from the SMU Law Clinic are also here. Mr. Griffin, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can put your hand down. Let me remind you to please speak up, use your outside voice so that Ms. Hernandez can hear you and take a record. Mr. Griffin, are you Sammy Griffin?
Yes.
Did you agree that we conduct your plea over Zoom video conference?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is your date of birth?
January 13th, 1969.
Do you understand what you're charged with today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the range of punishment?
Yes, Your Honor.
So I want to make sure that you understand that you were originally charged with a driving while intoxicated second, and that the district attorney's office filed a motion to amend the information or the charging instrument to change that to an obstruction of a passageway, which is a class B misdemeanor, as opposed to a class A misdemeanor, which the DWI second was. Do you understand what happened there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you understand the range of punishment in this obstruction.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you discussed your rights with your lawyer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want to have a trial?
No, Your Honor.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you believe your client is mentally competent?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Griffin, what is your plea?
No contest.
I accept your plea of no contest. While the evidence is sufficient to find you guilty, instead of doing that, I'm going to place you on deferred adjudication probation for 9 months. Also assessing a $100 fine plus court costs. As long as you meet your probation conditions, after the 9 months, this case will be dismissed. Do you understand, however, this case will still appear on your criminal record unless you take steps to conceal it? Do you understand that?
Well, I don't understand how to take the steps.
Okay, well, I need to make sure that you understand what's available to you. And so let me go through.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you understand that. Do you understand that one of the steps you can take is file a petition for non-disclosure?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that a non-disclosure is a court order to the Texas Department of Public Safety to not disclose your criminal record to the general public.
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that even if that petition is granted, there's certain agencies that will still have access to this record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand those agencies include law enforcement, schools, hospitals, federal security agencies, and many more?
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you understand ultimately this case will never be completely removed from your criminal record unless you receive a pardon from the governor of Texas?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions?
Well, Kind of lost right now.
You're lost. How so?
I didn't know it was that many steps, and I thought it was going to be totally removed.
It's not going to be totally removed. You can get a non-disclosure, which limits the amount of people or eyes that can see this record, but it's not going to be totally removed. That's a common misconception in Texas. That's why I give people this admonishment to make sure that they understand that this is not going to be completely removed from their record unless the governor says, Mr. Griffin, I'm going to give you a pardon. Otherwise, law enforcement, schools, hospitals, federal securities agencies, and many more will still be able to see this record. Pardon me?
Employment?
Yes, there are a lot of employment agencies that will still be able to see this record, partly because, we have these publicdata.com background check entities that exist on the internet. A lot of times when a person gets arrested, these entities on the internet get a hold of this record, and your arrest record goes on those sites, whether or not you get convicted, whether or not you get a deferred adjudication. So, but this non-disclosure order, if you were to get one in the future, doesn't have any jurisdiction over the internet.
I understand.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No. No.
Ms. Sanchez, did you want to add anything at this time?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. McCollum had reviewed the paperwork with our client, and I know that non-disclosure information was reviewed with our client. We have always maintained that our clients, and we are very respectful of the fact that our clients have an absolute right to a jury trial. It is my understanding that our client understands that not taking the offer is his absolute right, but it placed him in peril of possible felony consequences. And after reviewing all of the options that were available to our client, ultimately, this is how he wished to proceed.
Okay. Is your client on felony probation, or what's the
No,
potential felony consequences?
No, Your Honor. There were concerns that enhancement might be in play, but ultimately, to avoid that risk, or these were the determinations that were made as the best way to proceed by both the state and the defense.
Okay. So, Mr. Griffin, are you finished, Ms. Sanchez? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I am, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Griffin, how old are you?
52.
Tomorrow. Okay, so it's been implied that you have repeated DWIs. And I would highly recommend that you stop getting arrested for DWIs and getting accused, because if in this instance there was a concern of an enhancement that would land you in felony court with a DWI, which exposes you to prison, you probably need to ease up and stop getting accused of this offense and potentially found guilty. Okay. That's just my advice to you.
May I say something, Your Honor?
I'm advising you not to.
It's a previous case. The first DWI.
I understand, but that pertains to enhancement, which pertains to how you could be charged in the future. That's why I'm advising you not to speak about that.
I would advise you to listen to your lawyer.
It's for your protection, I assure you.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Sanchez?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Griffin. I did receive your signed conditions of probation, and all thing you have to do now is call that number on condition number 11. Miss Morales will assign you an officer in the field closest by your house. That's all, Your Honor.
Ms. Sanchez, do you have the defendant's data sheet available?